Hello everyone, thank you so much for watching. Before you do anything else, like, subscribe, and activate those notifications by clicking on that bell icon below. So, my first book is now 15 years old this month. I know I don't look that old, but yes, this sucker right here is 15 years old. I need to smile awkwardly for a second so I can get the thumbnail. There's a glare. But if I smile too big, my cheeks look really big. Maybe I'll just look serious. Okay, I think I got it. I don't like to keep things if I don't have any immediate use for them. Like, I throw them away. Like, I don't keep things that I don't need. But I kept this like as a memento, and oddly enough, it still fits. And I think I can get some more use out of it if I like belt it, because it still fits and it's kind of long. But anyway, my book, Army Life, the first 4 months of my first duty station, written by Ramon Carrasco. It's always been a dream of mine to write a book, and I did it. I published it when I was 23. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna read it to see what things are the same, what things are different. And as I started reading it, I'm like, oh my, there's a lot of cringe-worthy moments in here. Like, now I understand why people have to apologize for tweets that they posted 17, 15 years ago, because you're no longer the same person. And I'm no longer the person who wrote this. Even though there are a lot of similarities, there's a lot of differences that are great differences that mark a night and day when it comes to my personality. Obviously, I was ignorant about a lot of things that I talked about this book, so if you read it and you're offended, my apologies, that's no longer who I am. Overall, I had a great experience in the military, and I think everybody should do their part and join at some point, especially if you don't know what direction you want your life to go in. I think joining the military gives you that time to really think about what you want out of life and how you're going to execute, your goals. And also, thanks to being in the military, I have 2 college degrees, so there's a lot of pros to joining. So if you don't know what to do with your life, join the military. I want to read some parts in here just to give you an idea of who I was back then. So this is something that I think is still the same to date. This was written on Tuesday, June 7th, 2005. It says, I have always told my parents I do not want to live a normal life. I want to make things happen and experience everything this world has to offer. And I think till this day that is very true. Like, I don't want to live your normal, boring, mundane, routine, day-to-day life. No shade if that's you. And I think up till now I have lived a very unorthodox life. I've done a lot of cool things, and I'd like to think that I have kept it very, very weird and not normal at all. I feel like that I'm a little bit clumsy when it comes to technology, but I guess 15 years ago so was I, and with something as simple as this, it took me 20 minutes to figure out how to use the damn phone. Even the payphones here are different. I was in South Korea, I had just landed. It was the weirdest feeling not knowing how to operate something I have always been familiar with. I had to ask a guy who was on the phone next to me to show me how to use the phone using a calling card. First of all, nobody uses public phones. And second of all, do calling cards even exist? So this kind of shows you that 15 years ago, it was a quite different world. Another thing that hasn't changed, I mean, it has changed, but it hasn't. Shit happens, so until I give my wife 100% of my time and attention, I will not get married. Wife. I joined during Don't Ask, Don't Tell, so obviously at this point it was not, you weren't supposed to talk about it, you weren't supposed to share your preferences, and at this point I was trying it so hard, trying to play the part, putting my acting skills to test, but it turns out that weren't that great. But that's definitely changed. So it was very strange joining during that period where you couldn't ask or you couldn't tell. Another thing that's very quite the same, I talk in here about my struggles about, with tasty alcoholic beverages, because every time I drink one, I want to smoke a cigarette. And I've been trying to stop smoking cigarettes since 2005, and I have been very unsuccessful. Because every time I have a drink, then I want to have a cigarette. So I think they go hand in hand, and I actually enjoy the process of having a cigarette either with your coffee or your drink. So I'm still trying to quit that, but I don't feel like it's something I'm putting my all into. So when I was in South Korea, we were partnered up with the Korean soldiers. They are called Katusas, which stands for Korean Augmentation to the U.S. Army. And this is something I wrote. I was told by a Katusa soldier that I was cute. This completely threw me off guard. I really was not expecting that comment, especially from a man. Ramon, deep inside you really enjoy that. Who doesn't like a compliment? And I think people need to become more open to the idea of receiving comments or flattering comments, even if it comes from the same gender, I think anybody can say this guy or that girl is cute or good looking, even if you are heterosexual. Because I think when someone is attractive, that's kind of undeniable unless you're blind. One thing that has really changed, this I wrote on Sunday, June the 26th of 2005. I feel really bad because I have not been going to church. I no longer feel bad for not going to church. I think organized religion, in my opinion, does more harm than good. So that's something that it doesn't go with me anymore. I am a spiritual person, and obviously I have my own beliefs, but practicing organized religion is something that I do not advocate. I do not, it's just, it doesn't go with me. And apparently back then it was something that I was really into, and not no more. I don't know, next. Also that day I wrote that everything happens for a reason, and I still believe that till this day, that everything happens for a reason. I always say everything always happens for the benefit of me, and I think that's very true. Saturday, July 2nd, 2005. I really did not want to get drunk, but I did. I feel that's something that I still say to this day. I'm very easily peer pressured till this day, and I guess I was back then too. This is funny. This happened on Monday, July 11th, 2005. I found a pubic hair in my mouth. How I got there, you'll have to read and find out. Today I received an email from the girl I cheated on so-and-so with. Back then I was dating women, and I think it's funny that all the conversation was done through email. Now you just easily do WhatsApp or Messenger or those type of things. Obviously there's a lot in here, but I don't want to go through it. I mean, it's still available at all your local bookstores if you're interested in online bookstores. I'll leave the links below. There's some things that are really different. Like back then I cared a lot about what people thought about me and what opinions people had of me. Now I really couldn't care any less what other people think about me. I actually find it funny and entertaining when they do talk. It kind of feeds my ego a little bit. Also, back then my friend circle was really big. Now it's very, very small. Also, I was like really close to all my family, all the extended family, and I have a huge family. Now it's very condensed to a very select few people that I keep in touch with. The older I get, the less tolerance I have for like trying to please or appease people, or have just like, if it's not a real connection and it's not a connection that I feel brings something positive to my life, then I'm gonna cut it off regardless if you're related to me or not. I also believe that I wanted to get married and have kids and all of that. That is no longer something I believe in. Like, I don't want to get married. I actually don't believe in the idea of marriage. I think marriage is something that's going to become antiquated a few years from now. If you're interested in knowing more about who I was when I was 23, I will leave you the links below so you can purchase the book. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and all your online booksellers. Also, just a big disclaimer, when I was writing this book at the age of 23, I was talking to the publishing house, and they're like, okay, well, who's gonna edit your book? We have people here on staff that can edit your book. And back then, 15 years ago, it was like $3,000 to get it edited. And I said, you know what? How hard can it be to edit a book? I can just reread it and fix the mistakes that I made. Grammar, punctuation, or spelling. And this also spell check. That's like half the editing process. Well, obviously I missed a lot of things. A lot of things is that because I read it so many times before I submitted it, I was reading it in my head how I wanted it to sound and not actually reading what was actually written. So there are some grammatical errors, but I mean, there's little ones like there and there, or the comma here or the comma wasn't there type of thing. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Get your copy of Army Life. If you do have it, or when you do get it and you read it, leave me your comments below. I would really like you know your thoughts on it. And if you are questioning what to do with your life, if you're 18, 19 years old, even 20, or 22, I joined at 22. It's never a bad idea, especially now where you can be who you are and you don't have to hide who you are. Joining the military is a great way just to kind of organize your thoughts and prioritize what you want out of this life. So anyway, that's all for today's video. Make sure to subscribe and like, and until next time, adios y bye.